너무 감사하고 오늘 너무 좋았습니다. 여러분 감사합니다. 사랑합니다.
Vous nous avez manqué.
Have you ever imagined what would happen if the global music scene were truly shaken to its very core overnight? Welcome back to Top K-Pop, a gathering place for those who witnessed the rise of world music. Tonight, we will not just discuss an ordinary concert, but a massive cultural phenomenon that marked the return of the kings of K-pop to the magnificent stage that had long missed their presence. On July 18, 2026, Paris became the center of all global attention as the legendary Stade de France stadium transformed into a roaring sea of people. Thousands of army from all over the world were willing to travel thousands of miles, gathering under the French sky just to witness the return of a living legend who had been interrupted by national duties. The magical atmosphere was thick even before the first beat began, where pure tension mixed with the euphoria of deep longing from millions of pairs of eyes. As all the stadium lights dimmed dramatically, the curtain of splendor was opened with an extraordinarily brilliant arrangement of the new song entitled Hooligan. The song instantly captivated the audience that night, blending K-pop modernity with the heritage of French classical music through a sample of the masterpiece Jungkook by legendary composer Michel Magna. Amidst thick clouds of smoke and flashing fireworks that lit up the Parisian skyline, the seven members strode majestically like gods descended from the heavens, sparking a frenzy of mass hysteria that had millions of smartphones held aloft to capture the surreal moment. However, amidst all the visual explosions and epic performances that night, the world's spotlight was completely captured by the charm of the golden magne, Jeon Jungkook. The youngest member of BTS performed with a level of global superstar charisma that was both intimidating and captivating, proving that the hiatus had not diminished his sharp aura on stage. That night, Jungkook took a bold and visionary fashion step by collaborating with luxury fashion house Balenciaga to design his custom stage costume. He hit the stage in a sharp, structured black leather jacket adorned with thick, gleaming metal studs, exuding a street luxury vibe that was both rugged and elegant. This quirky yet classy look was completed with intricately chain-detailed pants, a harness that wrapped around his perfectly proportioned frame, jet black sunglasses, and luxurious gloves. Jungkook's devotion to the Balenciaga aesthetic wasn't just evident during the main show, but was ingrained from the relaxed soundcheck session through to his intense stage performance. The highlight was when he turned his back to the audience, revealing the word Balenciagas neatly spelled out in sharp metal nails on the back of his jacket, a fashion masterpiece that affirmed his status as a global style icon. Without showing the slightest sign of fatigue, Jungkook moved with explosive energy, belting out each line with such rich, sophisticated, and deeply emotional vocals that he instantly captivated thousands of pairs of eyes, leaving the entire stadium speechless in awe before erupting in hysterical cheers. The incredible surprises of his Arirang world tour didn't stop on the main stage, as the VIP stands of the Stade de France suddenly became the center of attention that night. The arrival of French President Emmanuel Macron and First Lady Brigitte immediately sparked a wave of excitement among the fans gathered around the venue. The pair seemed to have completely abandoned all formal state protocols to immerse themselves in the euphoria of the sold-out concert. Fans' cameras repeatedly captured the unique and heartwarming moment as Macron and Brigitte proudly held their army bombs aloft, waving BTS's signature light sticks to the music's rhythmic beat with joy. Macron's pop culture diplomacy seemed to reinforce his already established support, having previously used a BTS song on his official social media accounts, causing it to go viral during the G7 summit. That night, political boundaries completely collapsed and melted into a breathtakingly beautiful artistic experience for 2 consecutive days, July 17th and 18th, 2026. This historic concert served as the most authentic proof that the love of global fans and international recognition are even more solid and unwavering.
look at
Witnessing the
anything the
Stade de
same
France
way.
bow
Gotta
and
build up
all
of my
that night.
thoughts sitting in
We are
an
reminded that
ashtray.
what Jeon
I'm sorry
Jungkook
that I'm
and
so
BTS
inconvenient,
presented was no
okay?
longer
Just let
a
me be
celebration of
me
the
and I'll
return
stay
of
out
idols,
of your
but
way.
a
I can see the way you
proclamation
look at
of
me, I'm such a
absolute
disgrace.
dominance.
I
The presence of
never
President
really
Macron
asked to
and
be
First
brought
Lady
into this place.
swinging
You
army
wanna
balls
love
in the
me?
VIP
Well then
stand.
baby have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay.
Under the floodlights
And
and
tell
the
me what's
afterglow of
wrong
dramatic
and why
fireworks,
I've
the
never
golden
said
magne
you felt
truly
that
demonstrated
way.
why he deserves the
You try
title
to stay
of one
strong
of the
and
greatest
fake
pop
a
icons
smile
of this
until
century.
I
Every
look
piece of
away.
Balenciaga clothing
But
that
I've known
clung
you
to his
too
body was
long.
not just a
Hurts
visual
to watch
accessory,
your blue
but an
eyes
artistic
fade to
shield that
gray.
emphasized his
As
new,
you fade
more mature,
away.
bold, and untouchable identity. The detailed metal spikes that formed the name of the luxury fashion house on his back glinted sharply every time he executed the highest instinct choreography, creating a perfect synchronization of street luxury and high-level performance. Not a single note was missed, not a single movement seemed awkward. Jungkook that night was the embodiment of the absolute perfection that the global music industry had long awaited. The impact of that magical first night performance on July 17th, 2026.
I need help, I'm going through hell. I fake like I'm fine, but I know you can't tell. Like nothing I found, my mind overwhelms. I think that I'm broken, but I hope you can't help. I know I'm not perfect, but some days I feel more worthless. Baby, you make me feel nervous. If I still have you, I have purpose. It's all worth it.
But above all, it was Jungkook's visual transformation and vocal maturity that captured the most attention and garnered the most praise. Their bold move, donning a leather jacket adorned with thick metal studs and custom Balenciaga harness, instantly set a new standard in global stage fashion, proving that their influence transcended music and dictated the direction of global fashion trends. The warmth displayed by the French #1 couple in the VIP area also emphasized that the evening was a neutral space where cultural differences and social statuses emerged in parallel instead of contrast. As the epic opening concert finally reached its climax and the radiant skyline was once again illuminated by the spectacular final fireworks display, a message was conveyed loudly throughout the world. The tone of global music never shifted an inch. This historic night at the Stade de France was a lasting testament to the fact that BTS's empire, spearheaded by Jungkook's charisma, remains unshaken and unwavering. The lingering splendor of the opening night immediately fueled the enthusiasm for the second day of performances on July 18, 2026, as the Stade de France prepared to welcome another wave of euphoria. The explosive energy Jungkook left on stage still seems to vibrate in the Parisian air, leaving a deep sense of disbelief in the hearts of every army who witnessed it live. Discussions about the details of his Balenciaga leather jacket, the perfection of his vocals that transcended human capabilities, and the iconic moment of President Macron getting lost in the aesthetic choreography of Hooligan continued to dominate global timelines without stopping. This is no longer just the end of a concert, but a new chapter in modern music history that is being rewritten by their own hands. With the end of this opening tour in Paris, the world now realizes that the
I'm
long
about to
hiatus
fade
is not
away.
losing them
Cause
at all.
every time I
On
wake
the
up I feel
contrary,
like it's
the
Monday.
great has
Something's
forged
going
BTS
wrong with all the chemicals up
Jungkook
in my
particularly
brain. All of a
into a
sudden
much
I don't
more
look at
mature,
anything the same
powerful,
way. Gotta build up of my
absolutely
thoughts
unrivaled
sitting in
figure
an
atop the
ashtray.
highest
I'm sorry
throne
that
in
I'm
world
so
pop.
inconvenient.